Welcome to the Cliffside Summit cable strip. Today we will be working through the repeats on how to create this cable strip for your blanket or how you can add it into your project. The cable itself is worked over 12 stitches, so you can add it to anything, not just your blanket, if that's what you are here for. But I hope you are here for the Adventures in Cables blanket crochet along. If you are new here, my name is Christine. I'm from Ambassador Crochet. The cable strips are my newest tutorials, and I am excited to share them with you. If you're new here, welcome. Let's get started. To begin the Cliffside Summit cable, we are going to chain 19. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, once we have our 19 chains, we are going to work a single crochet into the second chain and in each chain across. Now I am working into the back ridge or the back loop of my beginning chain. You can work into your beginning chain any way that you are comfortable. For this project, it does not matter. I like the back ridge because it gives a nice finished edge to your project if you're not putting a border on it. We are putting a border on this, so ultimately it doesn't matter. I'm just more doing this out of habit because this is how I usually do it. Okay, once we get across to the end, we are going to just count and make sure we have 18. I know it's a smaller project, it's not a big deal, but I just like to usually count my first row just to make sure I'm starting with the right number of stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay. Row 2, we are going to chain 1, turn, single crochet in the first stitch, front post double crochet around the second stitch, single crochet in the next 2 stitches. If you're new to post stitches, this is now our new stitch. It was worked around the base, so if you look behind, you don't single crochet into that stitch. We technically skip the stitch behind it because now this is our new stitch right here. Okay, so we didn't need to work into that, so you skip that one. So when I say work into the next 2, it's not this one, it's the next 2 after this one. The post stitch replaced this one, okay? Now we're going to work a front post double crochet around the previous stitch 1 row below. So now we should be working into this stitch right here, but we're working into the previous one. So we're going to do a double crochet, a front post double crochet around this one, okay? Make sure you pull up your loop tall enough so that it's even with the new row. Once we make that front post double crochet, we're going to single crochet into the next stitch. Again, not into the one we just made, but single crochet into this next stitch. Now we're going to repeat that. We're going to front post double crochet in the next stitch, 1 row down, 1 row back. So here. So if we did the post stitch around this one, it's not this one, it's this one right here. It's technically like underneath that single crochet that we just made, if that helps. And sometimes this first row is a little tricky, but once the pattern gets set up, it works better. Okay. So now we have that. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches and front post treble crochet around the next stitch. So we're going to front post treble 1, 2. We're going to front post treble around this one. And then we're also going to front post treble around the next one. Now we're going to front post treble around the 2 that we skipped. So these are so if you see, this is the front post double, and then we skipped 2, and these are the front post treble. So we're going to work around the first skipped stitch. Again, it's a little awkward to hold until you get the first couple rows set up, but then it gets much easier once the pattern is started and laid out. And now we're going to do that one more time around the second skipped stitch. And I will stop for 1 second and show you what that looks like now. Okay, so now we have single crochet, front post double. We have a single crochet, front post double, single, front post double, and then we have our 4 that we crossed. Okay, you can only see the 2 leaning this way. The other 2 are behind it. Now what we're going to do is we are going to skip the next stitch, and we are going to front post double crochet around the next stitch. So we're skipping this one, which is the next stitch, and then we're going to front post double crochet around this one. Okay. Single crochet in the next stitch. So when we do this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. So back here, we're going to skip 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to work our single crochet into this one here. And just my setup row, I am going to double check that because sometimes they don't lay flat and you miss one, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now I'm going to front post double crochet around the next stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Front post double crochet around the next stitch, and single crochet in the last stitch. Now again, this was a lot for a setup row, but I'm going to work the single crochet row back the other way, and then I'm going to show you, and it'll start to take form after, after another cable row. Maybe you'll start to see the pattern and it will all get easier. I always think that the first couple post stitch rows while you're getting the cable set up are the hardest, and if you can work through that, the rest of it kind of falls into place. I have a good numbering system so that it's easy to know which cable you're working into next, so that will make it easier for you as well. Okay, I did my chain 1, I'm going to turn, and now I'm going to work row 4. So let's just lay this flat for 1 second. Now there's a little gap here. This will all lay better You might be able to see a little gap there. Some of it could be because I was doing it a little looser because I'm trying to show you and my tension isn't great. But we have the 2 post stitches here. These will be the same all the way up. They will never change. And then we have these which are a little angled, and then we have these which are crossover. So we ended up with 6 front post double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 front post treble. These are the 2 that crossed and the other 2. And then we should have 8 single crochet. Okay. All right, so now for row 4, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, front post double around this first post stitch, single crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3. I have a numbering system that I made for these cable strips. It makes it easier for me to explain which stitch we're working into. So this very first one and the last one do not count because these will never change. They're always just going to be straight up they're a framing stitch, so they're just going to stay. So that leaves us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I numbered them right to left because we crochet right to left. This one is 1. This one is 2. The 2 back here are technically to the right of the other ones. So this is 3. This one is 4. So I have 3 and 4 here because they're technically to the right of the other ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then again, this one doesn't count. So I could be over here and I say, you know, front post treble into the 4th. 1, 2, 3. It would be this one here, the 4th one. That way it's easier to explain what I'm doing. Sometimes the lighting, sometimes the yarn, sometimes I'm going too fast. I just thought that was a really good way of explaining it to make it easier, okay? So we're going to front post double crochet around the first post stitch, which is, it's pretty easy instructions. We're just going to make sure we pull up the loop to the height of the working yarn or the working row. Single crochet in the next stitch. Skip 2. We are going to skip this second post stitch. We're not going to work into it right now. Okay? Front post treble around the 5th post stitch. So this is where it might get tricky, but it's going to be easier because I numbered them. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's 5. This very first one that's angled toward the left side of your project. Okay? So we're going to treble around that 5th post stitch. Now we're going to front post treble around the 6th post stitch, which is the next one. Okay? Not too bad so far, right? Front post treble around the 3rd post stitch. Now we had 1, 2, so 3 and 4 were those ones behind it. So I like to push them forward a little bit, pull the ones in front to the left, and then you can take your other finger and kind of push those stitches forward so you can see them, and you can grab it a little bit easier. Okay? Make sure you pull up your yarn a little bit so the project doesn't tilt forward or curve forward. And then we'll front post treble around that 4th one. So it's in there, I promise. And like I said, once this gets set up, it gets a little bit easier to grab everything and find what you're looking for. Okay? So now they've twisted again. Those center ones have twisted. Now we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. So what we have to do is skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in the next stitch. I'm not really skipping 4. They're now those cable stitches, but we're not working into it. front post double crochet around the 8th post stitch. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're skipping the 7th one. We're working into the 8th one. Single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Front post double crochet around this last post stitch. Single crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn, and single crochet all the way across. And that will be the end of row 5. And then we can move on to row 6. Once I get to the end, I will show you the other side. I should have done that before I turned. Okay, let's chain 1 and lay it down so you can see. So now we have these that we dropped. We added single crochets here instead. There's a reason, and you'll see it as the pattern forms. And then these angled this way, and then these center ones twist. They're twisting, okay? The pattern will form. It'll get easier to see as we work it. So let's move on to row 6. Single crochet in the first stitch. Front post double crochet around the first post stitch. Single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, 4. Now we are going to front post double crochet 2 together around the first and second post stitches. So again, we've numbered these. 1, remember this one from row 2 we didn't work into, so it does not count any longer. So in this row that we're working into, in row 4, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we are going to be working a front post double crochet 2 together in 1 and 2. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook behind the first post stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Then we are going to yarn over, insert your hook behind the second post stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 3, the remaining 3. And now we've made the decrease. Okay, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. Again, as a reminder, don't work into that one we just made. We made the post stitch in front of it, right? Single crochet in the next stitch. Now we're going to skip the next stitch, front post double crochet around the 4th stitch. Skip the next stitch, which is the 3rd post stitch. Front post double crochet around the 4th. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, now we're going to front post double crochet around the 3rd post stitch. So again, we're going to have to reach behind that, and you can grab it with your hook and pull it forward. You're not going to see it, you just know it's there. Okay, but see how it twisted? Now we are going to single crochet in the next stitch. So now we did 2 post stitches. We're going to skip those 2 behind it. Single crochet in the next stitch. Front post double crochet 2 together around the 5th and 6th. insert your hook behind the 5th, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to yarn over, insert your hook behind the 6th, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 3 that are on your hook. And now we have the 2 decreases. We have one here and one here, and then we have this little twist in the center. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Front post double crochet around the next stitch, or last stitch I should say. Single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1. Now we're going to work row 7, and we are going to just single crochet all the way across, and you will have 18 of those when you get to the end of the row. Okay, as we get to the end of this row, we're going to chain 1, turn, and then we will work row 8. Single crochet in the first stitch, front post double crochet around this first post stitch, single crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, front post double crochet around the first post stitch. So I inserted my hook behind the entire thing. There's 2 legs, but it actually comes out to 1 stitch at the, at the end after you do the decrease. So I inserted my hook behind both of these. Single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the second post stitch. It's going to be behind this, so you're going to have to reach in and grab it. Front post double crochet around the third stitch. Now here's where it gets tricky. Front post double crochet around the second post stitch. This was 1, the decrease was 1, this was 2, this was 3. So now we're working back into this one again. We're doing a second one behind this second post stitch. Okay. Now we're going to do that again, front post double crochet around the third. So in essence, we repeated that set of instructions twice. We worked 1 around the second, 1 around the third, 1 around the second, 1 around the third. So you ended up with 4 post stitches in this center twist. You have the 2 that crossed over, and then you have the outer 2 that will fan out with the next row. Single crochet in the next stitch. So now we worked 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next stitch is actually here. Front post double crochet around the 4th. Again, insert your hook behind both legs of that decrease. Single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Front post double crochet around the last post stitch. Single crochet in the last stitch. Now this is what we have. It's not looking like much yet, but I promise these twists will all start to form, and you will actually see the pattern probably over the next couple rows. Okay, so let's move on to row 9. We're just going to chain 1, turn, and single crochet all the way across. apologize if you can hear that yarn rubbing against the end of my desk. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to row 10. So for row 10, again, we chain 1 and turn, single crochet in the first single crochet, front post double crochet around that first post stitch, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, front post double crochet around the first post stitch. So now for this row we're going to have 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Don't let that hiding one get away from you. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to front post double crochet around the first one. Again, especially the angled ones, make sure you're pulling them up to the loop up to the height of the row. Single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the second post stitch, so that's the second one, single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the fourth. So now we have 1, 2, this next one would be 3, so we're going to insert our hook behind the fourth one and work our front post double crochet there. Front post double crochet around the third, so now we're going to go backwards and insert our hook behind that third post stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch. We have the 2 that we have the post stitches in front of, so the next one is going to be here. You can see that. Front post double crochet around the 5th. Single crochet in the next stitch. Front post double crochet around the 6th. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches, front post double crochet around the next stitch, single crochet in the last stitch. Probably still doesn't look like much, but I promise we're getting somewhere. So this is going to be where your repeat is. This started with the cross stitches, so it looks kind of uneven, but this is going to be what the repeat looks like, this little section in here. Okay, so we're going to chain 1 and turn and single crochet all the way across. All right, that completes row 11. So now let's move on to row 12. Chain 1 and turn, single crochet in the first stitch, front post double crochet around the first post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. Now this row we have 1, 2, 3, that little one back there, don't let it get away from you, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so once we do our single crochet, we're going to front post double crochet around the first post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the second post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the third post stitch. I find it easiest if you just reach in and use the hook to your advantage and start to pull it out and then wrap it through that way. Sometimes it's hidden back there depending on how tight you crochet. Okay, so after we work the third post stitch, we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, front post double crochet around the 4th post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the 5th post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the 6th post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around this last post stitch, and single crochet in the last stitch. And now you can start to see all these fanning out and taking shape. And then once you get one repeat done, it's going to look really good, and we just got to get through the next couple rows so that you can see the entire pattern take shape. It's a lot of repeat rows, but they're not hard. The most intricate part is where, you know, the cables twist at different numbers in that center twist. Sometimes you're twisting 4, sometimes you're twisting 2, but if you just pay attention to the row you're on, it's not too bad. Okay, let's move on to row, I believe it's row 14, but let's count just to be on the, let's count just to double check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This would be 13, so we are working row 14. So for row 14, single crochet in the first stitch, front post double crochet around the first post stitch, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, front post double crochet around the first post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the second post stitch. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is we have the third post stitch, we have 2 single crochet here, and then we have the 4th post stitch. We are going to work a front post treble around the second single crochet in this little V stitch. Okay, so we're going to skip the single crochet, the front post double, and the next single crochet. Work a front post treble around that single crochet, and then you're going to work a front post treble around the 4th post stitch. You're going to work a front post treble around the 3rd post stitch, which is the one back here. And then we're going to work a front post treble around this single crochet in here that we skipped. okay? Now we're going to go back to front post double crochets instead of trebles, and we are going to front post double crochet around the 5th post stitch. Now we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. So I believe it's this one, but I am going to count because we had front post double, then 4 treble, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another front post double. So the next stitch would be this one right here. We're going to single crochet into this stitch. Front post double crochet around the 6th stitch. Single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Front post double crochet around the last post stitch, and then single crochet in the last stitch. And now you can see the pattern start to take form. Take that out just for visual. You can see how this is starting to take shape. Okay, let's move on to the single crochet row. For row 15, we're going to chain 1 and turn, work our single crochet all the way across. Now we've technically come to the end of the repeat. The repeats will end at row 15. I'm going to work just the next row to start you off on the repeat section, just so you can see how it all wraps together. Okay, so the next row would be row 16, but it actually says repeat row 4. Okay, so we're going to chain 1 and turn, and you'll go back up to the row 4 instructions. So we will single crochet in the first stitch, front post double crochet around the next stitch, single crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, front post double crochet around the first post stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, front post treble around the 5th post stitch. Okay, so we have 1, 2, remember we have 3 and 4 behind here because these crossed in front. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're working 8 post stitches. We're going to work a front post treble into the 5th post stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So front post treble into the 5th post stitch, front post treble into the 6th post stitch, front post treble in the 3rd post stitch. So we're going to go back and work here, grab it, front post treble the 4th. I say in, it's technically around. I hope everybody knows that by now. Single crochet in the next stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one's going to be right there. Front post double crochet around the 8th. Single crochet in the next 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Front post double crochet in the last post stitch. Single crochet into the last stitch. Okay, so now for this we have, remember we dropped the 2nd one and we dropped the 7th one. So now for this row that we're going to work into next, we have 1, 2 and 3 behind here. There's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the next row will have 6 reference post stitches. I'm going to take you through just one more row, just so we can actually complete the diamond and you can see a full shape rather than just the repeat rows. The repeat rows kind of start in an odd spot because of the setup rows. So let's work this. And then we'll just work row, I think it'll be row 18 maybe, but it's actually row 6. I'm not really sure what row we're on, but I know the next repeat row would be row 6. Okay, chain 1 and turn, single crochet, front post double crochet, single crochet in the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, front post double crochet 2 together around the first and second post stitches. So this is the first, so insert your hook behind this one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to yarn over, insert your hook behind the second, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then to finish off you pull through all 3. Single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the 4th, 1, 2, 3 was back here, so this is 4. Front post double crochet around the 3rd. Again, I like to push it this way, kind of push it left with this finger, push it the back right with my pointer finger, and then see how I pushed it and forward right a little bit. It's easier to grab that with your hook if you're struggling. Some of it for me is because I crochet tightly. Single crochet into the next stitch. 1, 2, those are the 2 that we crossed over. So single crochet into this stitch. Now we're going to front post double crochet 2 together around the 5th and 6th post stitches. So this is the 5th. So insert your hook behind, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook behind the 6th, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 to complete that. Single crochet in the next 4 stitches, 2, 3, 4, front post stitch, single crochet, and now you're starting to see this diamond with the twist take shape. Let's do another single crochet row. Normally I only work you through the repeat once, but this one, because the diamond isn't exact and the next one starts to break off before the first one is complete, I just kind of want to show you an extra couple rows just so you know you're on the right track and it's looking the way it should. Okay, so let's move on to row 8. We're on the repeat for row 8. So technically we are on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Technically we're on row 20, but for the repeat purpose, we're working row 8. We're going to single crochet, front post double crochet, single crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, front post double crochet around the first stitch, which is this decrease. So we're going to go behind it, behind both legs of it, because it's only really one stitch. And we're going to pull up a loop and work that front post double crochet, like I said, around both legs of that. Single crochet in the next stitch, front post double crochet around the fourth. This is just one stitch, even though it was a decrease, because there's only one stitch there. 2, 3, 4. Front post double crochet around the second post stitch. Front post double crochet around the third post stitch. Now we're going to go back and do that again. Front post double crochet around the second post stitch. Front post double crochet around the third post stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch. So now we have four stitches that we just made. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So to single crochet in the next one, it's going to be over here. Front post double crochet around the fourth post stitch, which is the decrease. Make sure you go behind both legs of it again. Single crochet in the next 3. Front post double crochet in that last post stitch. And then single crochet in the last single crochet. Okay? And this will get you through, and now you can start to see how this was the decrease on the first one, right? And how the other one had already started to form down here. So that's where we're at. Up here is the decrease. So the next one is starting to form. You will continue to work these repeats until your blanket strip is approximately 60 inches or whatever the length of your blanket is going to be. Thank you again for joining me for the Cliffside Summit cable. I really enjoyed this one. It's one of my favorites. I just want to show you what it will look like in your blanket strip really quick. This is my strip. This is where it is seamed to the other strips. So this is your cable that never changes. And then you will work these, just the repeats over and over again until your cable is as long as you want it. Again, thank you for joining me. I was glad to have you here. I hope you will be joining me for the next cable strip, and I will see you in the next video.